When you show up at the office in the morning, what do you do first, second, and third? Do you take care of something minor just to say you got something done? Or do you grab the biggest thing on your desk and start working on it and then get tired, overwhelmed, and then distracted? How often do you look at your desk and all of a sudden there's 5 files open on your desk? I know that feeling. Hi, welcome to From Porch Lawyer. I'm Francine, your host. Now, previously, I introduced the Eisenhower principle to shrink the to-do list. And this is something I work with attorneys on because so often when I ask attorneys, what do you do when you first show up in the morning? And almost everybody has a routine. They get their coffee, they go sit at their desk, the secretary comes in with a stack of files and a stack of mail, and sometimes you go through it. Some attorneys, they don't sit with their secretary. The secretary just leaves it on their desk and they start going through the mail and whatever. What happens though is that sometimes you get stuck doing those little things that don't really matter. So if you haven't watched my video on the Eisenhower principle on shrinking the to-do list, there's a link for it right up here. But I'm going to run through it really quick for you. Basically, we identify everything on your to-do list and you ask 2 questions. Is it important and is it urgent? Now, if it's important, we're going to plot it on the upper half of this table. And if it's urgent, it'll go into column number 1. That's urgent. Got to get that done today. If it's not urgent, I can schedule that. I can do it. But this is important. Important means things that really make a difference. Usually has to do with a case, not some administrative matter. And then if it's not important, whether it's urgent or not, it goes down here. And you need to get rid of that off your list. This is administrative things, delegated or just completely and eliminate it. So once you've done that, you've kind of have shrunken that list to the important things. But sometimes what I find is that after you've done that, some of those not important things kind of get snuck in there. I don't know how they do it, but they just sneak into that list anyway. And so then we have to go to the boulders. And what does that mean? Boulders. You've heard me talk about boulders before. It's the goals for the day, and I try to limit my boulders to 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. So let's take a look at that. What does that do? And this is what everybody does, right? This is a jar. Think of the jar as your time or your energy for the day. And this is that one day. And what everybody tends to do is they first start by getting some of the sand stuff done, little easy things done. They get that done, like, it feels good to get some of those sand things done. Then they tackle the pebbles and they get some of those things done. And then they get some rocks. These are a little harder than pebbles and sand, but they're not massive. And then when it's time to tackle something that's really big and important, the boulders, it doesn't fit anymore. You're too tired, time has run out, you're too distracted, whatever it is, you can't get the boulders in. So now all those big projects have to get put off till tomorrow. So instead, how about we reverse it? Let's say we do the boulders first, and look and see what happens when you do the boulders first. This is the same size jar, same number of boulders, same number of rocks, same number of pebbles and sand. And look how it all fits in here. Because once you get the boulders done, they fill in the jar of your time. But you had the energy for it at the time because you got those done early. And then the rocks, a little bigger, a little smaller than the boulders, but bigger than the pebbles and sand, you got those done because you have the time and the energy. And when it comes to pebbles and sand, you don't need a whole lot of time and you don't need a whole lot of energy. And because you've left that to the end, you get those done way faster than you would have had you done them in the morning. Because it's like, I just got to get these done, get them out of here, boom, boom, boom. They're done and out because they're easy, low energy tasks. So this is what I look at and I use this with my clients. I go, all right, let's find out. It looks similar to that Eisenhower square, right? These are the important things, the big ones and not so big. This could be urgent, not so urgent. But these are your big tasks. For me, often that's the appellate brief. And sometimes I only put 1 boulder on my list because I have an appellate brief that I need to get done. And it's going to take me more than 1 day. So I'll put that brief on, working on the appellate brief on, say, Monday morning. That's the only boulder I have. And then I might have a few rocks that I could do later in the afternoon when I'm too tired to work on the appellate brief. And then later in the afternoon, when I'm even too tired to work on rocks, I might have a pebble. Sand, this is what I do with sand. I eliminate the sand. So do now, schedule, get rid of it by giving it to somebody else, and just toss this in the trash. Okay, so this is similar, this is the same concept as the Eisenhower principle. But the idea here is that you just get the big things done and you don't spend your energy on the little things first. And what this does is it aligns your energy level to the big things that need that kind of energy, and aligns the low energy time with the things that don't require your massive brain power. Admin things are pebbles, and sand, you know, if it's a sand, it's not worth your time at all. You should definitely delegate it, and for the most part, you should get rid of it. Because when I eliminate the sand, and I even eliminate the pebbles, I have time to go skiing in the winter or go for a bike ride. And if I had a soccer game to go to, I would get there because I have freed up time by making sure that I put all that energy into the big things and not into the little things, right? And then I'm not hurried and I'm not harried, which is what we're trying to eliminate, is not to be harried and hurried. So now go start with your boulders and get rid of those pebbles and sands, and I will see you back here on From Porch Lawyer.